Here's the thing. Everyone in Clash Royale thinks they know what the best cards are. You scroll through tier lists, you watch pros, and it feels like the whole game is just about the same 5 or 6 meta cards. But here's the brutal truth. If you're only playing what's popular, you're missing out on some of the most powerful, underrated cards in the entire game. Cards that almost nobody uses, but when mastered, can completely flip matches in your favor. And today, we're going to break it all down. By the end of this video, you'll know not just what cards are slept on, but exactly why they work, how to use them, and how free-to-play players can turn these hidden gems into weapons that carry them way higher than expected. Part 1. Why underrated cards exist. Let's start with the obvious question. Why are some cards underrated in the first place? The answer is simple: popularity bias. When a card gets hyped by a pro, the whole ladder suddenly copies it. When a card isn't in the spotlight, people just ignore it, even if it's secretly amazing. That's the beauty of Clash Royale. Balance updates, skill ceilings, and creative strategies mean that cards you never thought about can become absolute game changers in the right hands. Part 2. The Forgotten Defenders. Let's talk about defense first, because this is where underrated cards shine the brightest. Cannon Cart. People sleep on Cannon Cart like it's useless, but here's the reality. It's both a tank killer and a bridge threat rolled into one. On defense, it melts tanks, and when it transforms, it forces your opponent to react on the counter push. In mid-ladder, where people love overcommitting with tanks, Cannon Cart is devastating. Bomb Tower. Everyone loves Tesla, but Bomb Tower is a monster against swarms and hog cycle decks. The death damage alone can stop an entire push. If you're struggling with hog riders, balloons, or big swarms, Bomb Tower is one of the best counters that almost no one runs anymore. Guards. Skeletons? Popular. Goblins? Popular. Guards. Completely forgotten. But here's the truth. Guards are one of the most effective defensive troops in the game. Their shields make them ridiculously durable, and they can completely shut down many PEKKA, Prince, or even elite barbarians if placed correctly. They're cheap, reliable, and almost never seen in ladder, which makes them a secret weapon. Part 3. The Surprise Attackers. Now, let's look at offense. There are some cards that people think are weak just because they don't drop instant tower damage, but in reality, they're incredible when used with the right mindset. Flying Machine. This card is criminally underrated. It has insane range, meaning it can snipe buildings and troops from safety, and if left unchecked, it chunks towers. The problem is people don't protect it. If you treat Flying Machine like a sniper and support it with tanks or spells, it becomes one of the most annoying win conditions in mid-ladder. Goblin Hut. Everyone laughs at huts. But Goblin Hut, when played patiently, provides constant chip pressure that forces your opponent to waste resources. In long, grindy games, it can be the difference between winning and losing, especially if you pair it with poison or log bait strategies. Royal Hogs. They aren't talked about nearly as much as Hog Rider, but Royal Hogs are one of the strongest split lane pressure cards in the game. People panic when they see them because they force split defenses and punish overcommitting. Free-to-play players should love them because they don't rely on legendaries, and they teach you the skill of applying pressure on both lanes. Part 4. Utility and Support. Some of the most underrated cards are the ones that don't steal the spotlight, but quietly win you games. Ice Spirit. Everyone uses Skeletons or Fire Spirit, but Ice Spirit is a micro-mastery card. One elixir to freeze enemy troops or reset a charge can completely flip a matchup. Resetting a Sparky, freezing a balloon for your tower, or stopping a charging Ram Rider for 1 elixir. That's insane value. Tornado, yes, pros love it, but at mid-ladder, people almost never use it properly. Tornado is one of the most skillful and versatile cards in the game. It activates King Tower, it groups enemies for splash, it saves your defenses. If you're willing to put in the practice, Tornado can take your defense from average to pro level overnight. Zappies. They're slow, they're awkward, and that's why most players ignore them. But Zappies are incredible at controlling the pace of the game. They stun troops, shut down charges, and buy time for your defenses. Against elite barbarians or bridge spam, Zappies are lifesavers. Part 5. Why pros don't use them and why you should. Now you might be wondering, if these cards are so strong, why don't pros use them in tournaments? The answer is simple. Pros play in a completely different environment. They care about consistency, cycle perfection, and matchups at the very top level. But in ladder, especially mid-ladder, your environment is chaos. People overcommit, they misplay, they tilt. That's where underrated cards shine, because they punish mistakes. So while a pro might ignore Bomb Tower because Tesla fits into their exact cycle better, for you as a free-to-play player, Bomb Tower could be the card that saves you from 10 straight Hog Rider losses. Part 6. How to master underrated cards. It's not enough to just add them to your deck. If you want underrated cards to carry you, you have to commit to learning them. Here's how. Pick one underrated card and stick with it. Don't try to master 5 at once. Choose one and make it your secret weapon. Build around it. If you pick Cannon card, surround it with cards that support counter pushes. If you pick Royal Hogs, add cards that punish split lane defenses. Learn its hidden value. Don't just drop it randomly. Think about the exact situations where it shines. Guards are perfect against charges. Flying Machine punishes unprepared defenses. Tornado activates King Tower. Watch for overreaction. The beauty of underrated cards is that opponents don't know how to deal with them. If you see them panicking, that's your chance to capitalize. Part 7. The free-to-play advantage. This is where it gets fun. As a free-to-play player, underrated cards are your secret advantage. Why? Because they're usually cheaper to level up. Everyone else is dumping gold into Mega Knight, Hog, or Miner. Meanwhile, you're quietly maxing guards, Zappies, or Bomb Tower, and suddenly you have a level advantage with cards people don't know how to counter. That's the free-to-play power move. Invest where others aren't looking. Part 8. Motivation and closing. So here's the truth. If you're stuck in Clash Royale, it's not just about grinding harder or copying the latest meta deck. It's about thinking differently. It's about looking where others aren't. Because the cards nobody uses are often the exact tools you need to break out of your rut. Underrated cards are like hidden gems. They reward patience, creativity, and mastery. And if you commit to learning just one of them, you'll not only surprise your opponents, you'll surprise yourself with how fast you climb. So the next time someone tells you that card is trash, smile. Because you know the truth. It's not trash. It's your secret weapon. And when you play it right, it'll carry you further than any meta card ever could. And hey, if you're serious about climbing smarter, not just harder, hit that subscribe button. Join the journey. Because here, we don't just follow the meta, we break it. And that's how free-to-play players rise above the rest.